Peace, family. Um, like I don't really watch like a lot of TV or news or anything of that manner. I've been pretty much doing that a lot this year, because I wanted to tap more into nature and natural ability and natural cleansing. Of a lot of the toxic stuff that we put into our body by watching a lot of these programs and things on television. So yesterday, I don't know, I ended up cutting it on. I got a little bit perturbed, and I meditated. I meditated a lot last night, and this is what I came up with. This is how my dreams went. My dream was showing two four-dimensional creatures that were feeding off of energy. They would create a situation that would raise up the energy, and this is what they feed off of: the emotion, the fear, the creating of an environment, like how it's like a controlled, what would they call it? A controlled condition. So we can say like this earth is like a lab, and the conditions that are being placed upon us is like an experiment to see how our reactions are, and to control and to um, provoke a response that they're looking for. Um, but in this dream, um, the response that they're trying to get is for the releasing of an energy. We can't see this energy because in this body we only see things in three-dimensional. But in a four-dimension atmosphere or environment, there's a lot of other things going on that we are unable to see, because we're not equipped for it in this body. What I found interesting is the more things that they attacked us with, environmental, um, within your family, within your job, within each other, it was, they were able to feed off of it. It was sort of like food. Um, they were piling it like picking cotton. They were plucking at it, and they were getting it, and they were storing it in bags, and they were going off. And the second entity, they were doing the same thing. you know One was like an iridescent color, and the other one was like a smoky gray, and they were picking at it in this atmosphere. There were these things like wires or vines, and whatever it is that was coming from out of the human beings were attaching themselves to these vines, and they would come and they would pick it and everything, and they would put it in their bags, and then they would go. And when it got low, they would create, control the environment, evoke the response. We would emit these little, like milkweeds, like when you see milkweeds going through, that's something like what comes out of us. And they would stick on these vines, and they would go and they would pick them off, and they would place them, and then they would go and they would eat it, and it was like their food. And as they eat, they grew, they got bigger, and they would go away. And when they come, they were always skinny. and they were sickly looking, and they would invoke and they would repeat, and it was interesting. Um, it was interesting. When I woke up, I remembered that dream very vividly, and it made me start thinking about, this that's going on. Why is it that we never can get over, these skin color things? Is this their way of, are we unconsciously supplying, we have this like ego thinking that we're on the top of the food line, but what if we are part of the food line? They provide everything we need to sustain ourselves, and they provide situations, and they're able to feed off of us. They don't need to feed off of us physically because they're spiritual creatures. So they need to be able to feed off of us spiritually. And in order to do that, they have to evoke emotion and upsetting our spirit. And because the spirit has become attacked, we let go of whatever it is that's inside of our spirit. We release it, and that is what they feed off of. So today, I have no emotion. I have no emotion on anything that is going on right now. I see it, but I see it in a different way. I don't see it as good people and bad people. I see it as like puppets. People are being manipulated into situations that is creating a substance that is needed. And it makes perfectly good sense now. Why does this keep going? We've so-called evolved, but I think what happened is they found a quicker way of increasing the demand for the matter that it is that they're harvesting. We didn't have social media and all of these technological devices we have now to interact worldwide. So it was harder for them to harvest. It was more work because they would have to go from colony to colony to colony to colony. But now it's everywhere. It's just like electrical wires. We didn't have electrical wires back in the day. But just like how the electrical wires can connect whole communities and whole cities, and now it's connecting pretty much the whole world, it's the same way in their network. They have lines now. They don't just have small clusters that they have to go and travel to harvest. They're everywhere now. And I find that really interesting. But and I know, sometimes I tend to think way up here, but that's not the first time I've had it. The first time I had this particular dream was when the little boy got shot with the cops, and how it sparked this big ordeal. So when I start having reoccurring dreams of the same dream, I tend to look at it a little bit more harder. I don't look at it anymore as dreams. I look at it more like messages. Like I say, us as melanated people, we have a natural connection to this earth. It spoke to our ancestors. We had those abilities. We were in unison with creation. But we're the ones that's out of tune with what's going on. Everything else going around the world, is still connected. Birds know when to come. Birds know when to go. Bugs know where to come. Animals know where to come. Trees know when to bloom. Trees know when to die. They know when to come back. We're the only ones sitting around here all out of tune. So you know, I am just trying to see, you know, if people can like try to see if you can come back and try to get in tune. You know, cut off your TVs and your music for a moment and just vibe with nature. Listen to the birds, listen to the wind, look at the movement of the earth, and try to bring yourself back into harmony with it. Watch, look up sometime. I don't think we look up anymore. Look up, look at the sky, look at the clouds, look at the formations, and things like that, you know, because you'll start seeing patterns and behaviors, and it kind of all starts making sense again. And I don't know, for me it brought, it took a lot of weight off. I'm able to let a lot of things go. I try not to stress about too much anymore. A lot of stuff won't rattle me, you know. I can kind of, you know, and bid you adieu. Um, but yeah, I hope this wasn't too over your head. I know there'll be some that get what I'm saying, you know, because I have those kind of conversations with people all the time. So, um, but I wanted to share that with you guys, and you know, peace.